Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You're listening to episode 251, Your Attitude, Raising Your Vibration. I'm Jim Kellner, comedy hypnotist. Victoria Gallagher, of course, host of this show, is the #1 best-selling author of The Practical Law of Attraction. She also wrote The Ultimate Weight Loss Power. She also, how to manifest.
I'm all blurred out.
How to manifest your soulmate, and the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, the premier online destination for hypnosis recordings. With over 500 recordings to choose from, HypnoCloud provides solutions for people from all walks of life, guided meditations, affirmations, and hypnotherapy to help you with the law of attraction, manifestation, business success, stress, anxiety, sleep issues, and more. So be sure to download it today from the app stores. The goal of this show is to inspire you to dream big and really live your best life. Every week, we discussed how to use manifesting, affirmations, meditation, and hypnosis to help people create the life of their dreams. So if you're ready to start manifesting your best life, join us. Let us help you to tap into the power of your mind. Victoria Gallagher, everyone.
It seems like there should be some applause. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction to the Power of Your Mind podcast. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. Really. I mean, I pinch myself sometimes. I can't believe this is my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love your new background. For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, you got to head over to YouTube and watch us over there, because it's just bringing the visual in. We're both nice to look at.
Definitely.
And, it just helps in every way. So come over to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/HipTalk. And, and Jim will share these on these video episodes on his social media as well. So you can see us up close and in person. And pretty soon I'm going to be doing an amazing thing for our listeners. So I want you to stay tuned. At the beginning and the end of each show, I'm going to give you a special promo code where you can download my new Believe app, which is expected to be done by the end of February. Done, not launched. Done.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Good for you. My goodness.
Yes. It will only taken a year to build this app. But hey, you know what? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be super amazing. So I'm super excited about it, and I cannot wait to show everybody this amazing app.
Well, it looks beautiful. I've seen some of the images that you created for it with Midjourney. Is that right?
Yes, almost
gorgeous.
that's one of the things too, is when you do see the app, one of the things that makes these apps so gorgeous are the album cover art, right? Like as you're thumbing through all of the various programs that are available, it's what do the artists, choose to use as the cover art. And I was literally just thinking about this yesterday on a walk with my husband, and how everything is so timed out so perfectly. Because if this app had been done 6 months ago, as it was supposed to be, I would just be using regular, everyday, ugly stock photos. Not that they're ugly, but
yeah, they're stock. You can tell they're stock photos.
Yeah, you can tell because you're like everyone's got the same ones, like you see the same ones over and over again. These are completely original. So not only are all of the amazing hypnosis sessions written and recorded by yours truly, but all of the artwork, I did that. And it's all like I mean, of course, I didn't take out a paintbrush and,
Right.
you know, I typed in the right prompts. I
Right,
learned.
exactly. Hey, that's a skill in itself. So
It really is. I was up, like,
yeah.
laying in bed last night, like, how do I get better at the prompts? And there's actually a lot of, if for those of you guys out there, who have not heard of this Midjourney, you just look
Oh,
it up.
right. Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
it up. This is going to blow your mind. It's going to change your life. Um, just look it up and you're welcome.
I was trying to the prompts are so important. And I was trying to make some images for my book,
Mhm.
and I just could not get it to do what I wanted it to.
Yeah.
It gave me about half of what I wanted, and
Yeah.
very frustrating. So, and it's funny, I see a lot of TikTok videos now where people are talking about how to use the right prompts for these different AI tools.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super important, and there's a lot of, there's some education out there. I've read an article last night just on off of Medium that, really kinda goes into detail, like, on how you can get a little bit more specific,
Mm,
what you want. I mean, part of it, like, if you were already coming from the background of a photographer or an artist, you kinda know some of this language
mm.
already. So those of us who are becoming Midjourney AI artists, we're just learning some of this terminology for the first time, I think.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think that is really cool the way you've reframed that. And it's like the universe was like, Victoria, sorry, you need to wait. I can't tell you why. It's a secret. Um, and then boom, now you got these fantastic images.
It's so true, and it's kind of the same thing with all of the, that I have to create little descriptions and everything for
Oh,
each
right. Yeah.
of my sessions, and this really helps. I mean, I could, like, take my script, essentially, plug it into, OpenAI Playground, and I can say, "Can you shorten this to 1 paragraph?"
Oh, wow. It's so awesome, isn't it? It's just,
Yeah. So I take my
yeah.
whole script and now it's just created like a nice little descriptive synopsis of the program. And if I didn't have that, I'd be sitting here
Yeah.
writing descriptions for all my products. And
Yeah.
so that's just another thing that's just really, or I'd have to pay somebody, to do that.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting the timing of things because I only stumbled upon these tools in the last couple of months.
Yeah. No kidding. And even throughout this journey, you've kind of wrestled with your attitude. We're talking about attitude today,
Yeah.
from up and down. And so I know that plays a part in manifesting. So can you tell us what's the connection there with manifestation and your attitude
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
using
it's a
law
it's
of
a really
attraction?
good no, it's a really good question. And I do want to also preface with the fact that, we're always hammering on the whole I'm always talking about the manifesting conditions, the 8 manifesting conditions that I talk about in my book. I'm always going through all of those steps. But there's a half of my book is actually dedicated to certain qualities,
Mm,
and these qualities have to do with raising your vibration. And ultimately, raising your vibration is the key to manifestation. So it's your attitude ultimately. It plays a huge role in manifestation because if you have a positive attitude, if you're thinking about things on a positive note, obviously that's going to help you to feel better. And that feel that it's the feeling, it's the emotion that raises your vibrational state. So your positive attitude ultimately, as it goes through and becomes a feeling, your positive attitude is going to attract more positive things to you, opportunities, people. I mean, no, positive people don't really want to be around negative people, right?
it's true.
and
Left them behind. Yeah. For the most
and
part.
Yeah, if you have a negative attitude, you're going to see everything as a challenge, as like, another roadblock, another obstacle, something's getting in my way. Somebody, you're blaming everybody. And the thing is like the only person that's in charge of your reality, everything that you have right now is because of you and the way you think and the way you feel, the actions you take, and all of that really does start with your attitude.
I got to tell you, I was on Facebook Marketplace looking at something a few weeks ago, and this I saw there was a guy on there. He was asking for somebody to donate a car to him or give it to him really cheap because he's homeless and he wants to live in a car. And I was like, oh, I wonder if there's something I can do to help this guy out. And I went and clicked on his profile, and you know what? I could tell right away his life sucks, just by the posts that he put up. But I'm wondering if, see, I kind of know, I can just kind of look at it and go, wow, because it's all this negative, these memes, or like, people will, cheat you and lie to you and all these, and it's just all this kind of same thing over and over again. And I kind of know, I'm like, that can't be good. But can you kind of explain why that kind of negative attitude could maybe block us from getting the things that we actually want?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people pick up on your attitude. You can walk into a room and you can feel like the vibe of that room. You can feel the energy of that room. A person can walk into that room and everybody can notice that person. And you can tell if that person is, you can just feel like, is this person in a good mood? Is this person, your husband, your wife walks in the door? You just know how, and so people feel and they pick up on this energy because your attitude changes your vibe and that emits an energy, and that's a frequency, and it's that frequency that we're sending out, whether we're sending out to the universe, whether we're programming our subconscious mind with it. And so that energy, if it's a negative energy, you're in resistance. You're going to create resistance, or you're going to put up walls and blocks to your manifestation. And it's common sense if you really think about it. It's like if you're
Mm.
feeling, like the world is working against you, if you're feeling like I'm broke, I'm in the station in life, I am single, whatever, whatever it is that you don't want to be in that situation, if you are thinking negatively about that, you're going to actually attract more of that to you. You're going to attract more of the same because that is what you're focused on. You're focused on what you don't want. And then the more you're focused on what you don't want, that becomes contagious. It leads to you thinking other things that you don't want. And ultimately, the more you repeat the same story to yourself, that just becomes your story. That's your limiting belief. And those, that just sort of becomes the way of life for you.
Yeah, and I just want to point out this too, is I'm very empathetic of the gentleman, and I'm not. Of course, he's homeless. Of course, his life sucks. I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
It's just that the posting the memes and things like that on your Facebook page is,
Yeah.
and that's just an example of one of the things, because it's a thought pattern, right? And that's just it's like digging yourself that hole. You keep digging yourself deeper. It's just going to get harder to get out of it.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I have noticed people like, post all these kinds of things, and they're posting like especially these days, people posting about and I made a funny comment the other day about it was I took a picture of my egg breakfast that I made
Oh
for
yeah,
myself.
right.
Right.
You
And I'm
big
like,
spender.
I'm like living the life of luxury right now. I just made fun of it. Like,
Right,
honestly, I'm not participating in
right,
this whole idea of scarcity. I mean, my husband
right.
does the grocery shopping, so I've not even seen the grocery store
Yeah,
in quite a
yeah.
while. And he comes home sometimes, with some odd things like, And it's always like, if you're seeing something different, it's just because, this is missing. So like occasionally, like I just absolutely love that keto ready whip that comes in the purple bottle. It's
Oh,
got like
yes.
15 calories and like 1 gram of carbs. And I mean, it's like the nature's perfect food.
I've got some in my refrigerator, Victoria. I've
You've
got
got the
some.
same stuff as in
I've
the
got it.
purple bottle?
Sometimes I'm just.
Well, they ran out, okay?
Oh
And so we
no.
got this, he's like, "I don't know about this, but let's try this." It was this almond milk stuff, and it kind of sucked, but we made the best of it, right? So yesterday, it was like, before he went to the grocery store, I just said a prayer. I'm like, "Dear Lord." And guess what? It worked. He came home. I manifested it.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
matter whether you're praying to God, okay,
Right.
or you're just thinking positive thoughts and visualizing. At the same time that I was saying this little prayer, I was visualizing him coming home with the purple can, and he came home with 2 purple cans. So anyway, it's all about like what are you choosing to focus on? Are you choosing to focus on the lack that's out there, or are you choosing to, focus on what you can. I mean, if you look at the 1% of the store that has empty shelves, then you're going to be thinking
Right.
that everything sucks and the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and there's all this negativity. But if you like really take a look around, I mean, that place is jam packed with food, and so
Yeah.
you can choose to look at the at the abundance. Now you might get really used to a certain flavor, a certain brand, or certain, and that's where you just have to like let go a little bit and choose to still focus on what's good and see the opportunity in this situation.
Yeah. I'm wondering too. So, you of course are the queen of the practical side of the law of attraction. So, if let's just say this gentleman, he comes to, he says, Victoria, you know what? I'm really in a bad place. What are some practical things that I could start doing today that are going to help to move me out of this hole that I'm in?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and in this particular person's case, you said he's homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But even
so
just, maybe you're just they're just out of whipped cream, the
yeah,
whipped cream you want, and you're having a bad day because of it. What can we
right.
do? Sometimes it's hard to just think happy thoughts, right? But I know there's other things we can do.
Yeah, the very, very first thing is you really do want to pay attention, use some mindfulness to
Mhm.
how often you are telling yourself the negative side of the story and how much complaining that you're doing about that. And it's not
Yeah.
that, like people have a right to complain, they have a right
Hmm.
to feel
Absolutely.
bad.
Yep.
They might deserve to feel bad,
Hmm.
or, and all of that stuff. And I don't want to take that away from anyone.
Yeah.
However, the universe, is pretty um impartial when it comes
Mhm.
to how you think generating what you're creating. And that's what you need. It's not personal,
Yeah.
and so you have to just remember that it's kind of basic math. It's kind of like when you're losing weight. I mean, it's how you got to focus on how many calories you're taking in, how many calories you're burning, and this is going to be what shows up as the result on the scale. It doesn't matter that you ate ice cream one night because somebody broke your heart, right?
Yep.
And partaking in the negative thought process and complaining about what's going on in your life is like eating the bad food because of this situation or the circumstance that you find yourself in. So you really have to start to discipline your mind to partake in what is it that I want to create in my life. That's the very, very first thing to changing your and maintaining a positive attitude is like, what is it that I want to create in my life? Um, Begin to associate and find people, listen to things that are positive, like this podcast, like
Yeah.
my hypnosis, my new hypnosis app. I'm pretty committed to having like right now I think there's only 12 sessions that you can listen to for free. There's going to be somewhere between 50 to 100 free sessions that you're going to be able to listen to for
Wow.
free in my app, and what before you upgrade.
Mhm.
And but still, and I'm a bad I'm breaking my rule by putting this out there. There will be people that will complain that you still have
Right.
to
That
pay
it's not
money to
else.
upgrade to
Right.
get,
I should get
what's
everything
that?
for free.
Right? Everything should be free. But so that's a perfect example though of like, well, you also have to express gratitude. I mean, there's so much available resources out there. And even just for the fact that, like, even if you feel like you have nothing, you can
Yeah.
just start with breathing. You can start with that I have air in my lungs. I have a brain that I can choose to program however I want. I have fingers, I have a mouth, I have feet, I have, a heart that's beating, just these things, these basic necessities. I have life. And none of this stuff even really means anything. Like, all of the things that you have or think that you don't have, you're just a spiritual being, who's come into this body. And this is something where you can just start to just like be grateful for the fact that like you got here. You got to enjoy living life as a being here on this planet. And so those are like a few things. You can also, a lot of times, like you can be so attached to something, and it just seems like your whole world is falling apart because you don't have this one thing that you have made your whole world about getting this one thing. And when you're holding on to that thing so tightly and it has to show up for you a very specific way, that can just be so frustrating and so disappointing and really change your attitude about it. And so if you just allow yourself to kind of loosen your grip on that a little bit and again just find the peace with what you do have. And so those are just a few things that you can do to really begin to step in. I mean, I could go on and on.
Well, I like what you said about, you have a right to feel that way. You have a right to complain. You have a right to be angry at people, to hate the world, whatever. And believe me, I've been destitute myself. I mean, I've gone through really difficult times, and it is tough to pull yourself up and not to engage in that thing. But like you said, it's you have a right to it, but it just doesn't help. I was thinking when I was reading through all those memes on his page, like the people that you're aiming those at, they're not even reading them, and if they are, they don't care. They're a bad person. They're not going to feel guilty about it. They're a crappy person, and so it just doesn't help. And I think that's the important thing to remember.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Let's break down a few of these. I mean, we hear about gratitude all the time with people posting their gratitude every day, and people talk about there's been research about it and everything. But really, how does gratitude contribute to a manifesting attitude? And so we're bringing more of that what we want into our life.
So one, it really shifts your perspective, your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. You start to really appreciate all of the things, and it's actually contagious. Like once you think about the things that you already have, what you're thankful for, it really just, it just raises your vibrational frequency to positivity because, you're thinking, wow, I actually do have a lot to be grateful for. And you almost feel silly in a way for even, feeling bad about things. I mean, just even, if you have the fortune to live in a house or live in an apartment, I mean, literally go into every single room, the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, your bedroom, your office, however many rooms you have in your house, and literally go in there and you will find hundreds of items. I mean, open up your medicine cabinet, and you'll have bottles and bottles of vitamins and teas and coffees and what not that's not your medicine cabinet. Our medicine cabinet is next to our
Hey, sometimes
it's
for some people,
yeah.
coffee is medicine. I get it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Open up your refrigerator. You can count all the things in there. You're probably going to find some things you need to throw out as well.
Right.
Uh, but literally do a walkthrough. It just, you have clothes on your body. You have clothes on your back. You have clean water coming out of the spigot, or maybe you have bottled water, whatever it is. All of these things are here for you to support you. And as you start to like view your life in terms of all the things that you do have versus all of the things that you don't have, you're going to raise your frequency. Had to start doing that with my app. Like I could sit here and say, that's not done. That's not done. That's not done. We're still a month away from the app being complete. And I could point to at least 10 major features that are incomplete, right? I could do that. And I can also point to all of the things that are done that, I mean, like, I'm so grateful that I have my own admin panel. Like that to me is just huge. I mean, with that admin panel, I literally the other day, and I won't say what program this was, but I literally the other day, my husband, and I were having a conversation, and he was having some challenges with something, and so, um, I decided on the fly that I was gonna make a recording for him to listen to. So I made a recording.
Mm.
I wrote the script, I made the recording, I found some really cool Midjourney art, I uploaded it to my admin panel, and then, he has a copy of my app on his phone because I do have it on test flight right now. And literally within half a day. It didn't even take me that long, but it was just like very quickly and easily, I was able to create something and get it onto this app. The same way I used to have control over my website, I now have control
Mm.
over doing that in this app. It's like I love that sense of control that I have
Yeah.
over it, just being able to get stuff up there or being able to, have this online web checkout, which is something I didn't have before. So people can actually go to my website and they can enter whatever promo code I want to give them, like I'm going to be doing from this podcast. So I can see how many people
Mhm.
from this podcast that actually, download my app, and I'm going to give them a promo code that they can, something like maybe 1 month free or maybe 50% off for the first year or something like that, and they'll be able to, and so I'm just super excited about that. Screw all the problems that are still going on with the app right now. I'm excited. I can see the future. And so you see how like that just totally changes my attitude about it. If I was just to continue moan and groan about like, this is still not working right yet, and be frustrated about that. And,
Yeah.
it's really changed and shifted my relationship with these people when I express, at the end of every meeting, sometimes we have some tough conversations still, but at the end of every meeting, it's very endearing to them, that at the end of the meeting, I always say, hey, I'm, uh, just want you to know how grateful I am and how much I really appreciate everything. I know you guys are working hard. I know how much you guys care. And, they show up to, pretty much without fail to every Monday meeting. And so, and it just feeds into more things to be grateful for. And that's the bottom line. It just causes you to elevate your vibration into a higher level, and where you actually do now, because you're grateful, even though things can suck, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be like the next level. I was listening to something this morning. It was like, um, at the next level, you know what, I don't want to say it because it might sound stupid. Since I don't I don't remember the exact terms, but it was interesting. It rhymed with level, but I don't want to say it. But anyway, it was, every time you go to the next level, there's a new devil. That's sort of like what it
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
yeah, that's sort of what it said, but I don't have the exact phrasing. But that's the thing, is like, once you have whatever it is you think you want right now that's going to make everything perfect and go away and raise your vibration, if you're focusing on what's out there, you're missing the whole point. All of this is inside. It's all inside of us.
Yeah. I've got to think, we're talking about the level, leveling up and stuff, I know for myself, I used to be racked with a lot of self-doubt. And I got to think too, I mean, if you're coming from a place, when you're broke and you're homeless, I mean, your self-image is shot, right? I mean, you probably have a lot of self-doubt about what you're able to accomplish. But even like just a few years ago, I had a lot of self-doubt about what I could do and should do and that kind of a thing. And I'm just wondering, how does that self-doubt kind of play into all of this manifestation process?
Well, we ultimately, feeling that self-doubt, feeling like you can't, do something. I mean, that's really the worst. I can't even, honestly, I can't even imagine feeling like, that I can't accomplish something. I always have known that even though I haven't done something yet, I will accomplish it. And so, I have not been to a place, like, I've been to the place of frustration where it just kind of feels like, oh, it's taking too long. Or, but, and I've like maybe peered into the like, oh, this is never going to happen. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
never, ever going to happen. And so I can kind of get an idea, of what it's like to have that self-doubt. And, when I have stepped into that place, that dark, dark place, like, oh, this isn't going right. You have to start to, like, now just like look at what you have uh succeeded at some point. Like, you have succeeded at something, even if it's learning how to walk, learning how to talk, graduating from school, being in certain relationships, whatever it is. You got to like look at the jobs that you have had, the people that you have had, the um businesses, the growth that you have had, all, like, take a look at everything that you have been successful at, and you can borrow strength from those past successes, and you can begin to, really, feel a sense of confidence about the fact that, you have succeeded at something. And also just letting go of things having to be perfect, letting go of, you know, um, the fear of failure. Like, what if this doesn't work out? So many people, they just shoot themselves down before they ever
Right.
even make a go of it. And,
Yeah.
and they go for their mini dreams, not their big dreams. And the
Yeah.
problem with that is that the mini dream doesn't mean enough to you. So,
Good point.
you know what I mean?
You're
It's
not that
like
invested. You're not trying that hard. You
you're
don't have
not,
to try as hard.
yeah. And
I mean,
this isn't even the thing you really want. Most people are not willing to even go there. And so
right.
to me, I say go there. What do you have to
Yeah.
lose by going there and saying, this dream is like when I said I want 10,000 subscribers,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Right.
I don't like that word.
Right.
But that's small. That's
Small. Right.
that's
Yep.
small thinking.
Why not
Okay?
100,000? Why not a million?
A million. And,
Exactly.
why can't I be calm? Why can't I be headspace? Like, it's selfish of me to withhold this amazing creation from the other 990,000 people.
That's right. Exactly. Selfish.
It's selfish. Because really, if you think about it, it's just thinking about me and my needs. If I keep it at 10,000, it's not thinking about them and their needs and everyone who's going to be, or either that, or it's like not really appreciating the level of like how important this app is going to be to people, and how much it's going to impact and change people's lives. So I say just another part of the whole success, and getting over the self-doubt is to think even bigger than you've
Love it.
ever even imagined.
Yeah. I remember I was and I think I talked about this before on the program. I was at a church service. I have one of these funky churches that I go to that's kind of all denominational and kind of new agey and stuff. And the minister was a New Year's Eve one, and we were setting goals for the next year. And she said, "Okay, I want you to write down one goal that you want to get." And then she said, "And I want you to make it audacious." And I love that word, audacious. It's like, wow. And you think about this, Victoria, 1 million people in a world of 8 billion is nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. Right?
Exactly.
That's, yeah, you can get 1 million easily.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. A
Yep.
million people served, millions.
Exactly. Millions. That's right. So, what are some benefits of having that consistent positive attitude for manifesting?
Well, there's a million.
Millions.
Millions of benefits. But
Yeah.
just a couple are, number one, it's just gonna make you, it's going to make you more attractive to the experiences that are really meant for you to have. And it's going to help you to, when you are thinking positively, you're more confident, you're more driven, you're more motivated, you bounce back much easier. It's actually good for your health and your well-being. You're going to manifest more abundance. You're going to, because abundance is a feeling, it's a state, and it's a state of mind that you can instantly shift yourself into that state of abundance. And shifting yourself into a state of abundance is going to cause you to see more opportunities. You're happier, you're more fulfilled, better relationships. I mean, just on and on.
You said it's going to attract experiences. It's going to attract people into your life too.
Yeah,
And those people are going to bring opportunities. And I have seen this. I mean, over the past few years, I am partnering up with so many different people, high vibe people. And obviously I must be sending out a pretty good vibe too. And it's just the opportunities are just exponential, they're just blowing up all over the place. And it's such a great feeling knowing that really it's just by just maintain that positive attitude, just go through
absolutely.
life, just being cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's also going to cause it causes people to be attracted to you, but it also your attitude is going to impact the actions that you take. Because
Right.
if you're feeling like down about life, you're down about this, you're down about that, you've been, hurt, you've been frustrated, you're depressed, anxious, whatever, you're going to hold yourself back. And so you're able to put your best self out there, raise your vibe, but also you're going to be taking more productive, inspired actions that, ultimately, so it's kind of it works both ways. You're going to be more vibrant, bold, audacious, but you're going to be more attractive, and you're going to attract more of those opportunities, people, and experiences into your life.
Yeah. So we just spent the last 40 minutes or so talking about how this positive attitude can lead to manifesting success. What if I just can't get that positive attitude? What if I'm just stuck with a negative attitude? Can I still manifest some success, Victoria?
Here's the thing. We all get into a negative attitude. Even those of us who, preach about the law of attraction and preach about manifestation and have it all seemingly together. We all hit roadblocks. We all have, moments where we step into a negative attitude. And, here's the thing. Is it possible for a negative attitude to lead to manifestation success? It's possible. It's not like impossible. Sometimes you can just you can kind of push your way through it. You can, but it's not sustainable. It's not the high road. And the high the highway to manifesting success is a positive attitude. It's a much more effective approach. It's much easier to get things with a positive attitude than it is with a negative attitude. A negative attitude is putting off negative, energy. Can you motivate people by, being mean, by being fear mongering? Absolutely. We've seen that happen, time and time again. There's bad bosses. They attract employees, but those employees are usually not, they do things out of fear, so it's not
Mhm.
sustainable. Right. And so, ultimately the best way, hands down, is a positive attitude, because that is going to be sustainable. You're going to just up, and you're, ultimately going to attract the right people. It just feels good. It's a smoother, easier, happier, more joyful ride.
Too, I think, I mean, like you said, we've all seen these bad bosses or just people in general that have risen, become very successful maybe, and they've got a bad attitude. But you got to wonder how much more successful could they have been with a good attitude. Like I have some colleagues, especially in the stage hypnotism arena, a lot of
Mhm.
egos in that area. And
Yeah.
there are some that have done great, but nobody will work with them. Nobody will refer people to them. Nobody will, so you go, but you could be even more successful, if you just played
Yeah.
nice, kept that not good attitude.
They're
So
not living up to their full potential.
true.
Because yeah, our full
Yeah.
potential, complete enlightenment is inner peace and joy and happiness and sustained happiness, not just temporary moments of pleasure, but sustained joy, peace, and happiness. And that only comes from having at least a neutral attitude. But more importantly, really seeing the positive in life, and that is a positive attitude.
Great. We've learned so much, Victoria. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jim. And thank you for tuning in to the Power of Your Mind podcast. Hope you found this very informative and inspiring. Please do share this podcast with your friends and your family. And don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, download the Believe app if you're listening to this sometime in April. And until then, just keep using the power of your mind to reach your goals and live your best life of abundance and joy.